Alright, so today we evaluated piecewise functions on 810, okay? So to evaluate a piecewise function, we're going to look at x equaling -8 and x equaling -5, okay? Because that's what this is asking for. So a piecewise function means that there are pieces, right? There's two pieces here. There's this 2x piece and then there's this 5 piece, depending on what our x value is. Okay, so we're going to use 2x if x is less than 0 and 5 if x is greater than 0. Okay, so starting with x equal to -8, we're going to use this one or this one. -8 is less than 0. -8 is less than 0, so we're going to use this function right here. Okay, so evaluating f of -8, we're going to plug -8 wherever we see an x in that function. So f of -8 is going to equal -16. For x equaling 5, we have 5 less than 0 or 5 greater than or equal to 0. 5 is greater than 0, so we're going to use this one. F of 5 is going to be the same at any point. There is nothing in this function that's going to change our value, okay? It's just always going to be the number 5. If we had f of 10, it would equal 5, because 10 is greater than 0, but this number is not going to change. Okay. For this one, we have 3 pieces now. And we're going to use the same numbers, x equal -8 and x equal 5. So for x equal -8, we have to look and see, okay, we're going to use this if x is less than or equal to 5. We're going to use this if x is in between 5 and 8, so 6 or 7. And we're going to use 6 if x is greater than or equal to 8. So looking at x equaling -8, -8 is less than or equal to 5 for sure. It's less than 5, so we're going to use this function. So, we're using g here. G of -8 equals, and then we just fill in, oops, this should be 2 minus -8. Okay, so g of -8 equals 2, a minus a negative gives us a positive, which gives us 10. For x equals 5, we see 2 5s here, right? We see a 5 here and a 5 here. If x is equal to 5, we're going to need to use this function right here, stating x less than or equal to 5, because this inequality does not include 5. Okay, so once again, we're going to have g of 5 equals, fill in 5 whenever we have an x. Oops, oh my gosh, I'm struggling. So we have 2 minus 5. G of 5 equals -3. Alright, and then we did some graphing. So when we want to graph a piecewise function, there's 3 steps to it. Okay, so our first step is going to be to draw our divide line. Okay, and what I mean by that is we're going to look right here and we're going to see where our function switches at what number. Okay, so when x is less than -2, we have 6. If x is greater than or equal to -2, we have a different corresponding function. Therefore, our divide line is going to be at -2. Then we want to see what is going to go, what is going on the left-hand side of our divide line. Okay, so this side over here. And how we're going to figure that out is we're going to say, okay, going left means we're getting more negative, we're getting smaller. Okay, x is less than -2 here. Okay, so that is the line that we're going to be using on the left-hand side because it includes those left-hand values. Okay, so if x is less than -2, we're going to start at -2. Okay, we're going to have an open circle because it's not equal to -2 at the line 6, y equals 6. So we come up to y equals 6, and at -2 we have an open circle going to the left. Now on the right hand side we are going to have a linear equation changing with each x value. This is going to be our right hand side, okay, because we have greater than -2. Okay, so we're going to draw a table, and you're going to have x values and corresponding y values, and we can use any values to the right of our divide line. So I'm going to use -2, 0, and 2, and we're going to go ahead and plug each of those values in for x here to get our corresponding y value. So -2 times 3 is -6. 0 times 3 is 0, and 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm going to start at x equals -2, y equals -6. We have a closed circle here because this is equal to. And then I'm going to plot these points. So -2, -6, 0, 0, and 2, 6. And that is my piecewise function. So stating the domain and range. Domain is x values. Let's see, another color. X values, right? So we want to look on our x-axis and see what our domain is, okay? So if we keep going from this line right here all the way to -infinity and go on forever, we're including all of those negative numbers. If we start at this point right here and go up and to the right all the way to -infinity, because this just continues forever, we're going to go all the way to the right to positive infinity, okay? And we are including -2, x equal -2, because we have this closed circle here. So that means that our domain includes all values from -infinity to positive infinity, because it includes all of the numbers on our x-axis, okay? Our range is then our y values. So now we're looking up and down on our y-axis, what is included, okay? We do not go further down from -6, right? Our piecewise graph, the lowest value that it gets to is -6. But moving in the positive upward direction across the y-axis, it's going to continue to positive infinity, because our orange graph here is going on forever in the positive direction. So we have a closed bracket at -6 because it does include -6, and we go all the way to positive infinity.